activities. How many students, so this is for you guys, how many activities do you get to list on the Common App? You probably already, yep, they all already got it memorized. A is 3, B is 5, C is 8, D is 10, and E is 15. Looks like you guys got it. It's B, 10 activities. So for some students, this is a lot. They don't have a full amount of 10 activities. Others, it's just not enough, and they just have so much to put down. So another question, how many characters do you get to describe your activity details, Honors 1, and your accomplishments on the Common App? So A is 200 characters, B is 400, C is 600, D is 1,000, and E is none of the above. We got some A's. Wow, it's E. Yes, it's really small. I call it a small piece of application real estate. It's only 150 characters. So that's only 10 more characters than a tweet. And that's just very, very concise. It's really, you got to be, we call it nice and tight in application speak. So you really have to carve out a very descriptive, clear explanation of what you've done in a very small amount of space. So you have a little under 2 lines of writing to introduce your activities, impress the office, the admissions folks, and highlight your accomplishments, all while demonstrating leadership. So this is what it includes when you talk about the activities list. It's your activity type. So there's category, your position, the leadership description, position or leadership description, and then the name of the organization. That's very important. A lot of students forget to put the organization name, or they inaccurately put it. What is the actual description? What did you do? What did you accomplish? What are your deliverables? What are your outcomes? The participation levels, like in terms of the grades that you did that, the timing. So was this all year, summer break, school break, hours spent per week, weeks spent per year, and then intent to continue in college or not. Really important. Some students get hung up on the intent. If there isn't an equivalent in college, don't worry about saying no. So this is a little look at sort of what are some of the activity types. There's quite a few. Really try to be as accurate as possible when you select these. So athletics to cultural to career, robotics, government, environmental, journalism, LGBT, all of it. Okay, and here is how it looks. So you're doing the drop down for activity 1. You're getting that position leadership. So they're a captain at their high school. They explain it. What is actually the activity? So they're trying to really take away exactly what they did. And then for this example, obviously you're applying in your 12th grade. So you want to include that even if that's not completed yet. And this is an excellent opportunity to show that they've done all of that. And then they talked about that they were applying, or they were actually active in it throughout the school year. All right, so this is another example, Habitat for Humanity. So a lot of students really do some sort of volunteer work or community service organization, and this is a common one. So how can we make it unique, right? How can we really sell this as something that is, you know, very viable, and that something was really tangibly gained by the student doing this activity? So before, this is what they wrote initially. I participated in Habitat for Humanity. I went on trips, went to meetings, and built houses. Not very compelling, kind of bare bones. The after is grew membership 500%, so 10 to 50 members. They don't need to even put members there because we clearly understand, because membership, by organizing weekly meetings, fundraising initiatives, and volunteer trips to Habitat Restores and Builds, which is an arm of that organization. So much better. So this is the after version. Like, why is it necessarily better? So we kind of break it down for you in this slide. The 9 through 12, that's sustained involvement. So anything that hits all 4 years is definitely a huge show of commitment and loyalty, and that this is something that was important to you. Co-head is showing leadership, and then grew is an active verb. It means that they actually were part of the cause of creating more members on that. So that's very specific. The numbers around 500% with the parentheses example is a tangible accomplishment and achievement. So including those outcome data points are really, really key. Weekly meetings, so just being specific about your frequency helps us understand, oh, wow, they were super involved. And again, you want to make sure your title really exemplifies or explains your role. So how did we achieve this outcome? So we go back and forth, and this shows you an example of all the edits that come into play. So you can see between the student and the graduate coach, like them asking, and I just did like a edit and revised just today of this. So I feel like, oh my gosh, this is what I wrote. But let's not use full sentences. We'll have more things to play with. Like, what did you actually do? What are your tangibles? Like where, how often? What was part of your involvement? Did you go to the meeting? Did you lead the meeting? So if you see all these questions, we really coach students in trying to bring out what exactly they did accomplish and how they can showcase and show their best self in that actual activity listing. So these are the goals, right? For activities, you want to showcase your leadership, tangible, concrete achievement, showing your sustained overtime involvement, support your persona. So like not all your activities are like this huge survey of like random themes. They all kind of work towards some sort of kind of set of values, value-based and interest-based that builds you up. And then of course, clear and organized formatting. So I can glance it in 10 to 12 minutes, which is usually what I spent per application, maybe 15 at the most. And I understand exactly what the student did and accomplished in that activity list. So this is an example of a successful activity list. You can see community service volunteer. This individual did 3 years there. They did specifically a lot of work, 5 hours a week, and they're still doing it throughout the year. And they are the founder and CEO, and they actually created with other seniors, and they specifically talk about, or I'm sorry, they connected 75 plus seniors with 50 plus teens, really concrete numbers there. And science math, same thing, founder and leader. They started the trial and error science club. They did weekly lectures on diverse science topics. You may not have the space to get into those exact topics, but look, diverse science topics, I got it. They did a whole bunch of different things there, but weekly. They did trips to labs and museums, recruited, X amount of people. And then lastly, their research. They're highlighting the academic research, which is great, including the individual and from where, when they did it, school break, and what did they specifically research and study. So these are all great examples.